Sales tax holidays are great for shoppers, but a nightmare for sellers if you're not ready. Over 20 states have sales tax holidays in August 2025 alone. And if you don't adjust your tax settings in time, you could accidentally overcharge your customers, hurt your reputation, or even fall out of compliance with sales tax laws. In this video, I'll break down what sales tax holidays actually are, the big ones to know about in 2025, real examples from key states, why these holidays are so tricky for e-commerce sellers, and how to automate compliance so you're not manually flipping switches for every state. Stick around to the end for a resource that will help you stay up to date and compliant without having to dig through every state's website. I'm Kelly from LedgerGurus, where we help e-commerce businesses to navigate sales tax complexity with confidence. We specialize in e-commerce accounting and compliance, especially when it comes to managing multi-state tax rules, including tricky things like sales tax holidays. So let's get into it. So what is a sales tax holiday? Well, it's a short window of time, usually a weekend, sometimes a full week, or even a whole month, where certain items are temporarily exempt from sales tax in a specific state. Some holidays are tied to seasons like back to school in August. Others focus on things like emergency supplies, energy efficient appliances, or even hunting and fishing gear. Most of the time, these exemptions are meant for personal use items, not business purchases. And while they're great for consumers, they come with a lot of complexity for sellers, especially if you're selling into multiple states. So there are four main types of sales tax holidays that pop up around the US. And if you sell online, each one can affect your tax settings in a different way. First up, back to school holidays. These are the most widespread. They usually cover clothing, school supplies, and sometimes electronics, especially in late July and August. For 2025, Texas is running its annual back-to-school holiday August 8th to the 10th. Florida is taking it even further with an entire month from August 1st through August 31st. And Ohio's annual holiday is expanded to a 2-week period running from August 1st to the 14th. Next is disaster preparedness holidays. These are common in states vulnerable to hurricanes and severe weather, and they usually exempt things like generators, flashlights, batteries, and emergency supplies. Then there are green or Energy Star holidays. These encourage the purchase of energy-efficient appliances or water-saving products like dishwashers, thermostats, mulch, or even certain plants. These types of holidays typically occur earlier in the year, so depending on when you're watching this, they may have already happened. These are annual events in most states, so it's worth planning ahead if they apply to your product category. And finally, Second Amendment and miscellaneous holidays. These tend to be more politically driven and can include things like firearms, ammunition, hunting gear, fishing rods, tents, and even outdoor cooking equipment. For 2025, Florida has one of the longest an annual hunting and fishing holiday that runs from September 8th through December 31st. And Virginia rolls everything into one. Their 3-day holiday in early August covers school supplies, disaster prep items, and energy-saving products. And here's something important to remember. Sales tax holidays change all the time. So just because your state offered one last year doesn't mean it's happening again this year or that the rules stayed the same. Always check current year legislation and official guidance before assuming that you're exempt. Now, this is why it's such a big deal for online sellers. Well, because during these windows, you are legally required to not charge sales tax on qualifying items in states that are running a sales tax holiday. And yes, this applies even if your business is located in another state. If you have nexus in that state or you're registered to collect tax there, you need to comply. Remember, nexus is when you have a strong enough connection with a state, whether by having a physical presence or selling enough into the state to be required to collect and remit sales tax. But here's where it gets tricky. There are price caps, like clothing under $100 or computers under $1,500. Go a penny over and it's taxable. Shipping charges can disqualify an item if they push the total over the exemption limit. Time zones matter too. If you're in California and your customer is in South Carolina, your midnight may not line up with their exemption window. And returns and exchanges? Well, each state has its own rules. Some let you swap sizes tax-free, others don't. Also, not every state makes these holidays mandatory. For example, Alaska and New Mexico have optional participation or exemptions that apply only to certain types of sellers. So just because you think you're covered doesn't mean that you are. The details really matter here. Now, how do you actually handle all of this? Because it can quickly turn into a logistical nightmare. You have two main options, manual or automated. The manual route looks like this. You create a calendar with every state's holiday dates. You match those dates with eligible product types and price caps. Then you go into each of your sales channels, Shopify, Amazon, WooCommerce, whatever you use, and manually adjust your tax settings. And don't forget to set reminders to turn those settings off and on. Example, if Massachusetts has a tax holiday from August 10th to the 11th, you'll need to turn off sales tax collection for eligible items on August 9th, then turn it back on at midnight on August 12th. It's a lot of work, especially if you're selling across 15 or 20 states. Now, the automated route is where tools like Avalara or Shopify Tax come in. They track all of this in real time and apply the right exemptions automatically based on product, price, and state rules. We work with a lot of sellers using Avalara, and let me tell you, they sleep better during sales tax holiday season. So what is your sales tax survival plan? If you're feeling overwhelmed, don't worry. This is exactly what we help sellers with every day. At LedgerGurus, we offer sales tax setup and automation to get your systems working for you, online compliance and return filing so you're covered in every state where you have obligations, and support for sales tax settings across multiple channels like Shopify, WooCommerce, and Walmart. If you'd like to hand all of this over to us, just click the link in the description. We can take it off your plate so you can focus on what you want to do, growing your business. Because no seller has ever said, yes, I get to do sales tax. And if you want to dig deeper, click on our 2025 Sales Tax Holiday Guide. It's a complete state-by-state breakdown with links and examples and dates, so you're never left guessing. The link is in the description. Now, which state has the weirdest tax holiday you've seen? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear. And if this helped, like, subscribe, and share it with other sellers who need to stay compliant. You'll find links in the description to our 2025 Sales Tax Holiday blog and details about our sales tax services if you're ready to stop doing this alone. We'll see you in the next video.